Hey everyone, this is I Sleep Too Late, and in this tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you how to use cEDHSkill as a regular Discord user. Couple of things before I get started. There are some timestamps in the description of this video, so if you want to skip over to a specific command that you want to learn about, you are more than welcome to do so. Also, I'm a little sick, so I do apologize. I may be coughing, but I'll try to mute my mic if that ends up happening. Alright, so why don't we go ahead and get started with an introduction. If you don't know anything that I'm talking about, cEDHSkill is a Discord ranking bot that I developed that utilizes OpenSkill, which is a rating algorithm that rates multiplayer formats. cEDH stands for Competitive EDH, or Elder Dragon Highlander, also known as Commander, a format in Magic the Gathering that typically involves 4 players. Now, why is this important? Because a previous iteration of this bot used support for 3 players, but that no longer is the case. I've discussed this in a philosophical manner. The community has decided that 4-player is the way to go. The bot is already intuitive if you've been playing League games on the cEDH server, but there are some nuances to these new commands in version 0.02 that I want to be discussing today. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the most, well, not the most important command, but I think the most introductory command, and that is help. Help is going to give you information on the bot as well as information on, how your elo or your rating is calculated, as well as, more information here. And you can also go to help and hit player commands if you want to learn about how certain commands work. So that's how you do help. The other more important command that I think is probably the most important command that you need to know is rank. And rank is a very important command because this command is what you will be using for the majority of your time. It's very simple. If you've used this before, you simply type 1 winner and 3 losers, or a 4-way draw. This bot does not support any other options, so it has to take 4 players, and 1 has to be a winner and 3 losers, or 4 draws or 4-way draw. And the other thing is, make sure that when you type this, that there is a space, at least one space between the L and the next mention. So this will not work. There has to be a space between L or W and the next user mention. So why don't we go ahead and see what happens when it's got to be inside the box. What happens when we click enter? You're going to see that there's a couple of things that happen here. The first thing that you might notice is that there is now a game ID that is attached to a game submission. This game ID has not been recorded in the database just yet because it is pending confirmation. The other thing you might notice, in addition to the results of the game, is that there are some additional features here in the reaction section. So in order for a game to go through, all 4 players have to hit react. And the submitter can also click on this X to cancel the submission. So, we'll do this later, but the other thing I don't mention with the 1, 2, 3, and 4 is that this will assign turn order now. So turn order will not count towards your rank, will not affect your elo, but it will affect your turn statistics, which we'll talk about in a bit. But if I want to hit 1 here, you can see that it records 1. I can also change it to 2 if I want to, or I can change it to 3. It'll just be the last click that I entered. So I could be clicking on multiple of these, but it'll be the last one that I submitted. And similarly, if someone wants to bump me, they can do that. And as you can see here, the new user is now turn 3. You can also affect, turn 4, for example. So people can basically assign whatever turn they want, as long as they remember what turn they were. Let's go ahead and click X and see what happens. As you can see, the game gets canceled by the submitter, and it will have a notification saying that the game was canceled. So in order for the game to confirm, to go through, you have to have all 4 players submit, like I said, and the turn order thing is optional. So why don't we go ahead and see what happens when we do this again. Now, it doesn't have to be the first person is the winner. It can be any one of these people. So let's make the third person the winner now, just for sake of argument. And now you can see here the same thing happens, same routine. And let's just have all 4 players hit submit. and see what happens. So as you can see here, all players have confirmed results are now final, and it will have a display here with all the new ratings. As you can see here, with respect to the L from Meowsalot, there should be now 324 to now 334, and that is correct. You can see that the win from Ocelot Cub is a W, so it should go from 043 to now 143, which is correct. So all the ratings have been updated. And as you can see here, the winner did have their ELO score go up from 973 to 1005, whereas everyone else's rating did drop. And you can see here that because Ocelot was such a low rating, their rating went significantly higher, while the higher rated players, they did get, you know, maybe a little bit more of a decrease than the other players who are around the same level. And that's just because of the way the algorithm works. When you beat a stronger player, your rating should go higher than in a regular game with people with similar ratings. All right, so now I want to show you some detail about rank that you might not know about. We've also implemented this in the new version 0.02. If I want to assign turn order before, you know, having everyone submit reaction confirmation, let's say I already know that Articuno went first, so we can put a number 1 next to their name and then an L, meaning that they lost. We can similarly say, well, Kitty Clinical, they went third and they lost. So we can actually don't have to put a 3 before the L. We can do L first and then 3. And then if you want to do, like, let's say Study Calculator 1 and Gyarados lost. So in this respect, we've only assigned turn order to Articuno and Kitty Clinical because we only remember them being first and third player. We don't remember Study Calculator and Gyarados what turn they were. That's fine. Let's go ahead and click enter and see what happens. As you can see here, the only difference is that now turn order has been assigned to Meowsalot and Kitty Clinical during the preview of the pending confirmation section. And the robot was smart enough to know that, well, 1 and 3 are already taken, so the only thing that are left are 2 and 4. So that's going to be how that works. You can also just go ahead and cancel this as well. All right, so now I want to show you something really fun. The bot now supports in the rank command commanders. So you can actually rank commanders. And if you don't remember or you don't want to like resubmit everything, because you can actually assign commanders to players. But let's say that you only know that 4 commanders were in a game and you want to submit them. Well, you can go ahead and hit rank. And this is a deck-only format, so you'll have to do this in a specific manner. So let's say Sauron, the Dark Lord, played in a game, and let's say that they lost. And let's say that the next player was turn 2, so order does matter in deck-only mode. Nekusar, the Mind Razor, was turn 2, and let's say that they won. It only accepts W's and L's here. And let's say let's just stick to Grixis here. Let's say Marchesa, the Black Rose, went third and they lost. And similarly, Wick, the World Mind, also lost and went fourth this time. So the only difference here is that, oh, I'm sorry, I typed that wrong. So as you can see, that's another demonstration. It will only accept the specific format, and the commanders have to be typed correctly, otherwise it will produce an error. So let's try to reproduce that correctly this time, and this time I will try to type correctly. Dark Lord. We'll try to do the same thing where they lost. Nekusar, the Mind Razor, won and went second. Marchesa, the Black Rose, went third and lost. And let's say Wick, let's type this correctly this time, World Mind, lost and went fourth. Okay, so as you can see here, it does take in order in account, and it does produce a separate game ID as well. The only difference here is that when you submit a deck battle, only 2 people need to confirm the results. Okay, so let's say 2 people confirm and it'll go through. The reason why only 2 people need to confirm is because you're not actually pinging 4 different users. You're simply saying, okay, well, I know this game happened. Let's just have one other person make sure that the game did in fact happen or that they did witness the game. And you can see here that that is the case. 2 people did confirm and the game went through. All right, now for some fun aspects. Okay, so you can actually do all of this at once. You can combine deck assignments with turn assignments. And let's just say, for example, we use the rank and we go to player mode. And let's say Kitty Clinical played... Let's say Kitty Clinical played Marchesa, the Black Rose. And let's say they went first and they lost. Let's say Study Calculator played Marchesa. Oh yeah, let's say they played Marchesa the Black Rose so that we can have our duplicate here. And let's say that they won. And let's say Atraxa, somebody played Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Now, this will not accept only commanders. There has to be a user that plays it. The reason why is because obviously we don't want people submitting games and saying, oh, I beat 3 random people with a commander. There has to be 4 pings when you're doing player only mode. So Gyarados lost, and actually, you know what? Let me take this back. Let's use draw, because I think draw, we haven't used draw before. So let's say Kitty Clinical drew, and let's have Marchesa study calculator playing Marchesa drew. Let's say Gyarados drew as well, and they played Atraxa, and then let's just say who else? Oh, Articuno also drew, and we don't know anything about, we don't know what commander they played, we don't know what turn order they were. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so as you can see, commanders were assigned, and you can see that you can have duplicate commanders, obviously. Turn order was assigned to Kitty Clinical, and you can see that they were turn 1. And because they were turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 are left. There's no number 1 here. And everybody drew. So let's have everybody confirm the results and see what happens. You can see now that everybody's draw number went up by 1, and ratings have minimally changed. You can see here that it's an ever so slight increase for the lower ranked players and an ever so slightly decrease for the higher ranked players. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. The main difference here is that the mu has small change, and sigma, which is a confidence interval, has narrowed slightly, and that's just something that's related to math pretty much. And those are all the things about rank that you need to know. It's a very complicated structure, but those are all the features in the new rank command. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the set command. This is also a very useful command, and most of these options are restricted to admins or moderators, but there are some things that you can do. For example, let's say I want to go to this game ID here, B531BE, and you'll just hit the right button to move on to the next parameter. And let's say I want to assign turn order to myself in this game. I would simply say turn order, and then let's do turn 2, I guess. So now I was assigned a turn 2 for this game that I just did, because I wasn't assigned one already. And if you accidentally did this and you want to do it again, let's say I want to do the same command and set a new turn order because I messed up. You should be able to do that. Let me just double check. Actually, let's do turn order 3. And let's do deck. We'll just say that I played Nekusar, the Mind Razor. I know I keep using that option, but it's just the best option here. It's the only one that it's the only commander that I remember off the top of my head. So as you can see here, we set turn order 3 for me in this game, and we also assigned the commander for me as well. Now, there are some features in this command, like I said, that are restricted to only admins. So, like for example, I won't be able to do, I won't be able to set my own elo, for example. Okay, that's just not going to be possible. Okay, so that's not going to be possible. But again, like I said, you can assign turn order to yourself, and you can also assign the commander that you played. Also, if you want to just simply assign the commander for future games, let's say I want to set my commander for future games as Atraxa Praetor's voice. Hopefully I didn't butcher this. You can certainly do that. That will now be the default deck for me going forward. Really quickly, I forgot to mention that if you want to unassign a commander for yourself, let's say after you've assigned a commander, you want to use the set command and you want to say, I guess, deck. And let's say I already pre-assigned something for me, but I want to get rid of that assignment because for whatever reason it was a brew, or I was embarrassed and I don't want to use it, or maybe the deck isn't even on EDH Rec because it wasn't a popular commander at all. You can just say no commander, and it will remove the default deck for you as a user. So that's how you do set, and it's a very useful tool if you want to if you don't want to, worry about, oh, what deck was I playing. You can always set your deck to a new deck if you want to change it, and if you want to go back to a game by game ID, you can always do that as well, and just set the turn that you did. And again, the turn order and the commander is optional. The most important thing is that you as a player get rated appropriately, regardless of what commander that you are or what have you. All right, so now I want to move on to some other useful commands. The one useful command that I think you're going to want to know about is viewstats. So viewstats can take in a player or a commander. So I can actually take in a player like this, and it'll give me the rating and the Mew scores and the their turn order preference, what their win chances were when they went first or second or whatever, their win loss draw record. Qualified means that they played at least 5 games minimum. When you do qualify, when the season ends, you will show up. Your name will be displayed in the top whatever list, and as well, it'll show you the most recent games, what their records were in those games as well. If you want to go to a commander, so you want to view stats for a commander, you can do so as well. So I like my Nekusars, so I'll do Nekusar, the Mind Razor, and it'll appropriately show the record for Nekusar as well. As you can see, Nekusar is doing really well, and you should definitely be playing that deck because it is really good. Grixis colors and wheels. All right, anyway, so that's how you do the view stats command. All right, the next command I want to move on to is list. List, actually, I will be changing this around because right now it only takes up to 50. But let's say I use list. Oh, actually, this only displays the top 10. The reason why is because you have to actually list the number. You have to go to count, and then you type the number 50, right? So it's a little spammy, but this will display the top 50 players. And notice how it says here rank 49 here and 49 as well. So some of these you'll see rank and pause. Pause stands for position. So rank is like kind of like the Olympics, right? Oh, you're rank number 1, you're gold medal. Rank number 2 is silver medal, right? But let's say for sake of argument that 2 people have the same elo score. So let's go down here and let's count and figure out if there's... Okay, so right off the bat, I can see after rank 17, position 17, there's an inconsistency here where rank 18 and 18 and then rank 18 and 19. Well, these 2 players have the same rank even though they're different positions. Why is that the case? Well, you can see here with the elo, they're both 1023 is their elo, correct? So you can also see here that specified that this player needs 3 more games to qualify. And when the season ends, the people who say needs 1 more, needs 3 more, whatever, they will not be displayed in the top 50, like I said, or the top whatever. And the reason why it says rank 18, like I said, is because it's the same ranking, but rank 20, it'll skip over to rank 20, so there won't be a rank 19 because rank 18 and 19 are the same rank. It'll move on to the next position, which is 20, and this person is rank 20 still, not rank 19, because there are 19 players above them on the list. So they're actually in the 20th place, and you can see here that there's actually two people in the rank 20, because they have the same elo as well. So it does get a little bit confusing, but that's the way it works. It goes by the Olympic system of first, second, third rank, and the position here is more just like a placeholder. So if you want to see, like, for example, position 49 and 50. So this says, even though it's rank 49, we know that this is the 50th player on the list. So if I want to do, for sake of argument, list, and let's do count 49, guess what? It's still going to show 50 players. It's going to show position 50. Why is that? Because the list is fair. It wants to include everybody who has played and everybody who is tied. So 49 is tied for both the 49th player and the 50th player, so they get the same rank, as you can see here. Okay, so this is a little bit of a change from where it was before. If you know how the rating system or the list system used to go before, now we display rank based on like their actual rank in the score tier system, rather than numerically like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 always. Now, let's say I want to see the decks. So let's say the decks have their own their own ratings as well. So let's say list. You can say here type. You can do decks commanders, and let's just do 14 here. Or actually, let's just hit enter. Or sorry, count. You have to hit count, and let's do 14. So now there's not 14 enough. There's not enough commanders to display 14. But as you can see here, it does the exact same thing, but for commanders as well. So if you want to see, like, people have been probably putting in a lot of stats for the different commanders that they've been playing. If you want to see a breakdown of each individual deck's rating, you can do so here in Top 6 Commanders, or you can use the viewstats command as well to view individual stats. And that's how you do the list command. Alright, so now I want to talk about something very interesting about this bot that I've introduced in a previous iteration, but I've more thoroughly developed it here. It's the predict command, and it is a very useful tool for predicting who is going to win based on, you know, various metrics. So let's say I want to do position. Let's do study calculator, and you do have to separate these with a comma. And let's say study calculate. Let's say Kitty Clinical. These are just dummy accounts, by the way. Gyarados, and let's say the last one is Articuno. So now it'll predict who the winner is, but keep in mind that you'll notice that there's 3 different probability models for predictions. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and explain what this means. So the first one is by pure elo prediction. This means, you know, the skill at which these players, based only on their elo score, not by the order in which they went. So turn 1, turn 2 doesn't matter. If you put them in a random pod and you roll for the dice, you don't know what turn they were, this is going to tell you what their chances of winning are once they are matched in a pod. The second one is the enhanced turn order, and this is a very interesting one. This basically says, okay, well, based on what turn you won, well, based on your turn statistics. So let's say, for example, Articuno is 33%. Why is that? Well, it's a combination of the entire league's win percentage based on their turn, with integrating that with the personal turn position win percentage. So Articuno must have had either a very high win rate when they went turn 4, or in this case you can see it's 10% personal, so it was smart enough to say, okay, well, 10% contribution from their personal stats, but a 90% contribution from the overall stats. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that in just a second. The hybrid prediction, as you can see here, combines the elo prediction, which is only strictly on skill, as well as the turn prediction. So it takes into account what your skill level is, as well as what turn you are. So what does this mean? Well, basically, elo prediction is going to be helpful for you before the game even starts, because it's going to tell you based purely on elo. You don't know what turn everyone went, so it's just going to go based on that. And as you can see, Articuno is like slightly higher, 26%, right? Because all the elos are relatively equal. Turn order prediction, if you ignore the elos, which is, you know, maybe not as useful, but hybrid prediction takes this turn order prediction into account with the elo score. So you could argue that hybrid prediction might be a little bit more accurate once the game starts and you know what turn everyone is. If you want to just do predict without any input, it's going to tell you the entire league's turn order statistics, and as you can see, their turn 4 is abysmal. Okay. And if you want to do like commanders, you can also do that too. So let's say I want to know how Nekusar the Mind Razor is doing. Let's do that, and let's say Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Okay. And let's just say, for sake of argument, that we don't know who the third player is. Let's just say Phantom. Phantom is just a placeholder. And let's say the fourth player is Marchesa the Black Rose. So now this is going to tell you the prediction based on elo, turn order, as well as hybrid for commanders. And it's also going to include a Phantom player for turn 3. That way, you know, you can just have that as a placeholder. The other thing you can do, if you want to say, well, I want to be a little bit more sophisticated and I want to predict how Articuno is going to do, playing Atraxa Praetor's Voice. They went first, okay? And let's say I want to do Gyarados. I don't know what commander they used. And let's say I want to do, let's see, what other commanders can I use? Edgar Markov. Let's say Edgar Markov. So I don't have a command. Let's say I don't know who's playing Edgar Markov, but I know that there is an Edgar Markov player in turn 3. And let's just say, I don't know. Let's do Study Calculator, and let's say that they played Edgar Markov as well. So as you can see now, it's gonna predict based on a composition, a combination between the player and the commander. So this is gonna predict how Articuno is gonna do while playing Atraxa. This is gonna predict how Gyarados is gonna doing regardless of what commander they played. And as you can see here, the last turn, Edgar Markov, we don't know who played that, but it's just somebody random is playing that commander, and it's gonna predict mainly based on the commander statistics themselves, okay? So that's how you do predict. It's a very useful command, and I highly recommend using it if you want to figure out how or predict who is the winner. Last but not least, I want to talk about league stats. So anybody can use league stats. This is the last command before we finish off. This command is going to give you data as to the total league, and it's going to be a little bit more complicated, a lot of detail here, but I'll try to break it down for you. Average games per active player. This is how many games a player in the league has played, how many people have qualified, how many people have had 5 games or more, how many decks have qualified, meaning 5 games or more. I would like to have, you know, if there's not enough data for a commander, I would like to have at least 5 games for a commander as well. This will also tell you how many players have been assigned a deck, and as you know, I did assign a deck for one of the players in a previous segment of this video. And player population, how many players are there? It gives you how many commanders, how many games have been played in total. All of this information is pretty useful, as well as, you know, some other various things like the most played commanders, the top performing player, as well as the top commander that played. and that's how you do it. So I hope this helps you. This is these are a list of all the commands that you can use as a regular player. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to send me a message. I am on Discord. I am also on YouTube. As I sleep too late, you can comment down in the comments here, or you can just go to the main cEDH server, which I guess I'll link in the description as well. And you can just type I sleep too late. I'm a different handle. I'm not I sleep too late. I'm like deleted user or something. But you will be able to reach me and message me on Discord or on YouTube as well. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you have an issue that you want to submit a ticket for on GitHub, this is an open source project. I will link in the description the GitHub link as well, and you can go to the issues page and submit an issue, and we'll try to address it as well. We do have a very supportive staff and developing team. So please do not hesitate to ask me any questions that you may have. And again, I hope this video helps. Hope you enjoy playing league games, ranked games, whether it's in the cEDH server or wherever else this bot is being used. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns. And happy ranking. Take it easy. Thanks.